some of the attendees. Perfect. I see the
Yes.
recording has started. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Giuseppe Buscarnera. I'm the Director of Graduate Studies of the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. Today is an online session that is meant to provide an overview to all of you who are interested or expressed interest in one of our programs for PhD studies to learn more about the application process, what our programs have to offer, to get in touch with some of our faculty, and most importantly, with our students to learn from their experiences and have an idea of how it is and what it means to be a PhD student at Northwestern. So we have an agenda with a few speakers before we distributing into breakout rooms. And the first thing that I would like to do is to welcome our department chair, Professor Marco Nie, who will give you a welcome on behalf of the department.
Thank you, Giuseppe. Everybody can hear me well? So I'm going to share my screen. I have a few slides. I think I'm going to hold on. Sorry. Can you see my slide? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Northwestern. I'm Marco Nie. I'm a chair of Civil and Environmental Engineering. It's wonderful to see many of you interested in joining our community. Our department has a long tradition of excellence and innovation, and today you'll hear how that continues through our research, our people, and the opportunities that await you here. I know that you have many choices for graduate study, and we're truly delighted that you are taking the time to learn what makes Northwestern CE special. As we look and see at Northwestern, this snapshot captures who we are today. We are a department with nearly 100-year history. In fact, I just realized recently that next year we will be celebrating our 100-year anniversary. We offer not one, but two ABET accredited majors in civil and environmental engineering. We serve a vibrant community of over 200 students, supported by about 30 faculty members who bring extraordinary expertise into the classroom. Our faculty include 5 members of the National Academy of Engineering and 2 of the National Academy of Sciences. And our younger scholars are equally impressive, with 5 National Young Investigator Awards in recent years. So together, we strive to engineer resilient, intelligent, and sustainable social technological systems for people and the planet. So at CE, we see a future in which the ground beneath our cities does more than just hold them up. Imagine foundations and tunnels that don't just support buildings, but also power them, using the Earth's own heat to provide renewable geothermal energy. At CE, we see a future where buildings and structures are alive, in a sense. Imagine facades that shift shape with the sun, materials that breathe with the weather, and a system that automatically respond to changes in temperature or light. These are structures that adapt, improving energy efficiency, shaping the urban microclimate, and enhancing human comfort and well-being. It's infrastructure that not only serves the people, but learns from the environment itself. At CE, we see a future where electric robot taxis gliding through city streets, seamlessly connected with smart road sensors and renewable power grids. They coordinate in real time, drawing clean energy and communicating with one another to move people safely and efficiently. In a world transformed by AI, telework, and shared mobility, transportation becomes not just a service, but part of an intelligent and sustainable urban ecosystem. And CE, we see a future where society's wasted streams become valuable resources again. Through advanced treatment, we can turn wastewater into clean water, capture nutrients to grow food, and recover energy that powers our cities. Even soils can be engineered to return moisture, recycle carbon, and sustain life, not just here on Earth, but one day beyond it. I'm very excited to introduce our amazing cohort of new faculty, a group that really represents the future of CE, and especially important for our purpose today, are actively recruiting students. Federico Chiado, who joined us in 2024, works in geotechnical engineering, studying how we can use surface mechanics for clean energy exploitation. He's particularly interested in geothermal systems and underground carbon storage. Also joining us in 2024, Georgia Chinazzo brings deep expertise in building science, focusing on human-centric building design and how indoor environments influence comfort, health, and performance. Nucha Sten Motava, arriving in 2025, bridges mechanics and adaptive structures that can change their shapes in response to the environment. And our last hire, our recent hire, Jackson Jawad from MIT, who is set to start about a year from now. So he'll be here next fall when you are about to start your career here. He will strengthen our structural engineering areas, working on the optimization of structures, especially reinforced concrete structures. Each one of them will add a new dimension to our department, expanding what we study, how we teach, and the impact we can have. What really makes Northwestern CE special is the people and the connections. We're a tight-knit community where faculty and students work side by side across disciplines, from data science to materials, from environment to infrastructure. Our students get close mentoring and the kind of one-on-one access you don't often find in big public programs. Of course, you also have strong financial support, full tuition, a competitive stipend, and access to funds for travel and professional development. And our location is hard to beat. We're right on the Lake Michigan in Evanston, just a quick train ride to downtown Chicago. So you get both a beautiful campus and easy access to one of the world's great cities for research, art, culture, and collaboration. All of that adds up to a place where you can do serious work, grow personally and professionally, and launch a career that has global reach. Let me speak candidly for a minute. Like many universities, we are facing some headwinds. Pause in federal programs, a few canceled awards, and a hiring freeze that's made planning a bit tougher than usual. We may even bring a slightly smaller PhD cohort next year, simply to make sure everyone who joins us is fully supported. In fact, we have a smaller cohort this year as well. But these challenges are not unique to us, and they are not permanent. Universities have weathered much bigger storms before, and we are already seeing new opportunity emerge. What matters is that we are managing things carefully, prioritizing our students and our core strengths. I'm confident that the situation will turn around, and when it does, we'll be in an even stronger position. As I look ahead, I'm genuinely optimistic about where our department is headed. Over the next few years, we will be growing strategically, bringing new faculty whose work strengthens our core areas, while opening new frontiers that connect civil and environmental engineering with AI, robotics, machine learning, and data analytics. We're also reimagining our curriculum, making sure our students are prepared not just for today's challenges, but for the ones that will define the decades ahead. And we're sharpening our identity as a department, making sure the excellence of our people and our work is visible and impactful, both within Northwestern and far beyond. These are ambitious goals, but I think they are within our reach. With your curiosity, your engagement, and ideas, we will turn this vision into momentum. Together, I think we can build a bridge to a future that truly reflects the best of our department. Thank you for being here today. So I'll turn this to Giuseppe.
Thank you very much, Marco, for this great introduction. So the next step in our agenda is a brief overview of the application process, which will be followed by a Q&A before moving to the breakout room. So I'll share a few slides that I want to discuss. Hopefully you see my screen. All right.
Yes, looking great.
Yeah, you do. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start with the application material for the PhD application. Let's start from a good news, from what you don't need to submit. Our program does not require a GRE test, so you're not required to upload them. What you are required to upload are your transcripts, also even the unofficial transcripts. The official ones will only be needed after accepting the offer of admission. You will need letters of recommendation, a minimum of 2. I want to emphasize the importance of these letters of recommendation. These have to come from mentors who know you very well, who can speak of your strengths and interests and skills. So give some important reflection to the selection of the letter writers. We do require a statement of purpose, a statement that should be as specific as possible about your motivation for PhD studies, the direction where you want to go with a PhD, what you think qualifies you for a PhD, and what are your research interests, and why you think Northwestern is a good place for you. This is important because we can, it drives our judgment in allocating your application to faculty who share your interest and who are better positioned to review and assess your qualifications. Of course, we will need your resume or CV describing your background and highlighting on your accomplishments. And for international applicants, an official English language certifications is required, typically either a TOEFL or an IELTS. This is required only for international students who did not complete their degree in a language where in an institution where the language of instruction is English. There are specific minimum thresholds to certify English proficiency for admission. Now I don't remember exactly, but I believe for TOEFL is 95 and for IELTS it's 7. Is that right, Logan?
That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah, okay. And so this is the material that you need to provide to us. How is your application package once submitted evaluated? So our department has a specific procedure that involves the formation of evaluation committees. These committees are typically organized by area, and at least 2 reviewers in the department, oftentimes across areas, depending on the profile, will review your application. There are 4 main domains that are assessed: academic performance, technical achievement, broader involvement in in your community, I would say, whether academic or not, and elements of your personal background. Clearly, the academic performance is the one that all of you expect, is definitely a very important item of evaluation. It speaks of the strength of your academic background, and we assess an ensemble of factors. Certainly, we look at the GPA, but especially on the performance of relevant courses that are attended and that contribute towards your training for the PhD program that you want to join. A statement of purpose that we discussed just before, where you articulate and describe what motivates and you and what are your interests, and the reference letters. We evaluate the specific technical achievement, so everything that is still in the technical domain, but that goes a bit outside the traditional academic coursework. This can include participation to research projects, experience through internship or in industry, possible participation to publications. So anything that speaks of your ability to branch out from the traditional academic coursework and apply your knowledge in a diverse range of engagements. Broader involvement is where we want to know more about what makes you unique as a person in terms of interest, type of engagement, and connections that you have established in the past or aim to establish in the future with your broader community. These can apply to extracurricular involvement, elements of leadership on engaging with the community, such as in student groups or interaction in different contexts, both academic and non-academic. And more in general, we want to know about your personal background. What is your personal trajectory, both in studies, but also in life, and what makes your experience unique. Through the introduction of Professor Nie, you already learned about several of the strengths and ongoing activities in our department. These are typically structured in a number of program areas: environmental engineering and science, the underground science and engineering, formerly known as geotechnical engineering, the transportation system analysis and planning, and the mechanics, materials, and structures area. There will be breakout rooms. So you have had the chance of registering or expressing an interest for one of these, and you will be directed to those, but you are more than welcome, if you're interested in more than one area, to switch in and out of the breakout rooms. Now we will open it up for questions. We do have a list of frequently asked questions in our website, but we are more than happy to address any question right now after this general introduction. And please be mindful that after the breakout rooms, we will reconvene again in a single session to attend a student panel, students from all of these areas who will share their experience. And so you can learn from them what it means to be a PhD student at Northwestern and how is PhD life at Northwestern. And that will be another opportunity to ask questions and learn more about our programs. Please keep our contacts in mind in case you have follow-up questions in the near future between now and the application deadline that for our department is December 15. So I can close it here, and I guess that this is Logan, do you have anything you want to add?
I think it was absolutely perfect. You crushed it.
Thank you. Logan is a big fan.
Big fan.
Very good, very good. So
I think
we can open it for question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe just in the interest of not having folks potentially talk over each other, maybe it'd be best if people send their messages in the chat, and then I can read them aloud to everybody, and then the appropriate parties can answer. That probably seems like the best way to go about it. So please send your messages.
Please don't be shy. No, it's not the moment to be shy. If you have questions, make sure they are answered. Yes, there is a digital hand raised.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
My name is Jonas, and I wanted to ask, so how are projects allocated? How are PD projects allocated? Are you assigned to a professor before you arrive at the school, or after you've arrived at the school during the fall, professors pitch their projects before the student selects a project? So how are projects, PD projects allocated? Thank you.
So there is not an allocation at the moment of the application or the admission. Typically, students at Northwestern, they join the programs without a direct assignation to an advisor. They are, though, requested to join a particular program area and to follow the coursework and the milestones of that area. Usually what we ask is that during the first academic year, students identify an advisor by finding a match between their interests and the available projects. For the available projects, you will have a glimpse of some projects that are available today in the breakout rooms, but we have a web page in our website that lists the active projects that are available. in your application, you have the chance of course, articulating what type of projects are of your interest, and of listing the potential advisors with whom you want to work. So all of this information is taken into account, not just to do a pre-assignation, but to sort of have a sense of what is the interval, the group of potential advisors that could be matched to a particular student profile. And this happens during the first couple of quarters. Definitely, you know, by spring, we would expect the students to find an advisor. Students are not requested to be on a research project at the start. They typically have a fellowship at the start that is provided by the school, so they can focus on their coursework and on exploring the different labs. Does it answer your
Thank you.
question? Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Next question we have came in before the hand raise is, does Northwestern have the NSF GRP Fellowship?
So the GRP the NSF Graduate Fellowship is not something that the universities have, but that students apply during typically their first year, based on a research project or a research idea that they have and that they want to develop at Northwestern. So all our students are encouraged, if they are eligible, to apply to the NSF Graduate Fellowship. There are some workshops or mentoring programs to have some guidelines. We have some offices that are dedicated to providing fellowship guidance or training to students, but it's not something the university provides, but rather something that the students needs to win out of the strength of their ideas.
Awesome, thank you. Hand raised, Parisha, you had a question?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Hello.
My question was, if I wanted to participate in like two faculties, like for transportation systems and also in the environmental and hydrology field, as I have a brief experience, research experience in both of them, I would prefer to address both when I apply. Is that possible? Should I mention it on my SOP, or should I choose just one?
No. I think you should mention both of them. Just, you know, we don't expect you to have an absolutely certain idea of what you want to do. Of course, if you do and you want to do exactly that, then I would tell you yes. But if in a case like yours, there are two possible areas that are interesting for you, that you want to explore, that's exactly what you should put in your application. Maybe this would broaden the possible range of advisors that could support you, or the projects that you could engage with. So definitely I would suggest list the range of interests that you have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. Next question, I can answer this one. Is there an app fee waiver for attending this session? Unfortunately, we are unable to offer any application fee waivers this year. That's just straight across the board. So we apologize, but that's just sort of how the situation is right now. After that, we have, how easy is it for PhD students to collaborate across departments or work on joint projects?
It's, I would say, very easy traditionally, because Northwestern is a very interconnected schools. There are many connections across departments. Many of our faculty members have joint appointment into other departments. Many of faculty in other departments either collaborate or have courtesy appointments here. So it is the entire engineering school is housed in one single building. We all have our offices nearby. There is a lot of sharing into attending seminars and making collaborative initiatives. So if you're interested in knowing more, all of the faculty in attendance can give you lots of examples of this type of collaboration. So definitely something that can be done and arranged if that is consistent with your interests.
Excellent. And let me see, joint papers. Yes, how often do PhD students publish with faculty, and are there opportunities to co-author journal papers?
Day in and day out. I would say. This is what we do. Yes, plenty of opportunities. I mean, of course, your PhD program, there is a learning curve, so the PhD program will train you so that you can not only be co-author and participate to research projects meaningfully by publishing, but also become the lead of these research projects. So that is the intent, to train our students to become independent thinkers, independent contributors in research, and not only co-author journal papers, but be the lead in these papers.
Right. And I believe that most of the attendants here are interested in the PhD program, but for our master's programs as well, there are thesis tracks, which
Yeah.
have the same sort of result
Yeah.
at the end of the course, just to add that in. And are there any opportunities to act as a TA or RA during the PhD studies? This would be really helpful for my academic career. Yes. And I mean, yeah, short answer is yes, but Giuseppe, if you'd like to
Yeah,
elaborate.
so RA, most of our students are primarily supported as RAs for most of the PhD studies. Occasionally as TAs too. I would add that our PhD program has a requirement that every student is meaningfully engaged and has a meaningful teaching experience. This is typically best done by serving as TA in a course relevant to their area, their training, and their background. So all of our students in different shapes or forms, at least in one quarter, they contribute as a TA for one of our courses, typically at the undergraduate level. And if they are interested in more, there are usually opportunities to do that.
Awesome. Quick question regarding academic backgrounds. I have completed my bachelor's in agricultural engineering and a master's in agricultural and environmental engineering with an environmental option. They have graduate research focused on environmental modeling and water quality. Is this considered, suitable for the civil environmental engineering program?
So I would defer to the colleagues in environmental area, but in general, there is a fair diversity of profiles that join our programs. There is not expectation that everybody has a degree in civil and environmental engineering. Many neighboring or affiliate disciplines, I'm thinking to general mechanics, engineering mechanics, mechanical engineering, or chemical engineering, biological engineering, they are all profiles, or logistics, they are all profiles that may have the right training and the right background to join our programs. Based on the few things that are mentioned in this message, I would definitely think that there is a strong connection with many of the topics that we do in the environmental engineering program.
Excellent.
Maybe something to discuss more in the breakout room.
100%. Totally agree. If an applicant's TOEFL score is close to the minimum requirement, but the rest of their application materials are strong, is there still a chance for admission? And if admitted, would it be possible to take English courses during the program to strengthen language skills? I can speak on the second one. Northwestern has a very robust English language program. I mean, we partner very closely with them. There are many opportunities for English education. I mean, I believe there's a specific course which is, how to teach with using English as your primary language. So there is tons of support available for those who have English as a second, third, fourth language. And then Giuseppe, if you want to speak to the TOEFL requirement being close but not right there, and if the rest of the application is strong.
I believe that the English requirement is a hard requirement. I'm not aware of the possibility of waivers. Maybe it's possible. It's not a situation where I would try to put myself if I were to apply, but we can explore individual situations. Logan, are you aware of waiver paths for? I'm not, but
Not off the top of my head.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
But and I think that's mostly due to that requirement become a TGS one. So, the sort of
Yeah.
overarching the
So
graduates.
yeah, it's an overarching requirement outside the department
Right.
bandwidth.
All right. Up next, we have you seen undergraduates go straight to a PhD program with a non-engineering background, but they have the fundamentals?
Yep, it can happen. It's important to have, as the message says, good fundamentals that are consistent with the area. It may involve, in some cases, a bit more training with courses or, filling some prerequisites or some particular courses that were not taken before, but it's not a deal breaker.
Perfect. Sitao Zhao has a question about transportation systems analysis and planning, if they adopt a committee system or a mentor system. And I think that'll be a perfect question for the breakout room
Yeah.
in 5 or so minutes when we do the breakout session. So hold that thought and you'll be able to talk
Yeah.
to our area coordinator about that. After that, we have how long does it take students to complete the PhD program, and how is progress typically evaluated each year?
So each year, students are evaluated by the advisor. We have a system of self-evaluation and faculty feedback that the advisor reviews your self-evaluation and provides feedback. That is the formal feedback, but of course, we would encourage students to get feedback as often as possible from their advisors throughout the PhD. And then there are a few, let's say, checkpoints throughout the PhD program where the student receives feedback from committees of faculty who either evaluate their general knowledge in the chosen area. This is the so-called qualifying exam, or evaluate the strength of their research area. This is the so-called prospectus exam, and then the committee will eventually evaluate the entire dissertation path. How long does the PhD program takes? I would say that a good average reference number is about 4 years. Very rarely I've seen students graduating in less than 4 years. It is possible for students to take a little bit longer, but I would say rarely it goes beyond 5 years. So I would say this it gives a range.
Perfect. And let me see. Great. May I ask about the career paths of your recent PhD graduates? For example, typically how many go into academia versus industry, and if they go into industry, what type of company they might join, like, for example, transportation systems, things like that. And then is there an interview after submitting the application, and when will it happen? I can answer that one real quick. We do not usually have interviews. I mean, that's not to say that, we won't, but don't expect an interview. But if there is some reason where, those who are reviewing your application would just like to have a conversation with you to get more information, to have something clarified, then we'd reach out to you directly. But it's not like a formal part of the process. And then Giuseppe, if you'd like to talk about
Yes.
where
Yeah,
graduates
regarding the interview, yes, it's not embedded by default in our application evaluation process, but we do encourage all the areas to conduct Zoom interviews with the candidates to get to know them a little better. Many areas do, so it could happen, but it's not guaranteed. In terms of the companies in the industry where specific areas might place their students, again, I would defer to the breakout room. In general, I would say for the question of where do our graduates go in academia or industry, I don't have a specific answer or a specific statistics. I don't think we have ever run it. Maybe we should, just to give a number. But even if we did, it would be weakly representative of the entire department, because there are some groups or some specific when I mean groups rather than the program area, are the specific research groups that maybe address problems that are more appealing to the industry and tend to place more easily in the industry. Others who have primarily academic connotation and might have more chances of placing their graduates in academia. So it depends. It depends on what is your target in terms of both project, advisor, and specific research group you want to join.
Excellent. And last question, when are admissions decisions typically given?
Admission decision. So we would start right after the closure of the submission window that, as we said, it's December 15th. Typically, in early January, the committees start meeting to shortlisting the first wave of candidates. And I would say during January and at most February, the applications are out. Then, the application process can continue in successive waves of admission. And usually by March, all of them are completed in general. The application, the offers can come as late as April, and sometimes they do come that late, but I would say that the big first wave starts in late January and goes through February, with then fading through March and April.
Excellent. Thank you, Giuseppe.
All right, so I think we are at the right time. Okay, so keep these were a set of good questions. Keep crunching questions as we keep going through the info session, but I would say this may be a good time for us to distribute in breakout rooms by area.
Absolutely. I'm just
Right,
adding the
and
names to
we
them.
will meet again at around 5 p.m. for the panel, for the student panel.
Perfect. So everybody, I'm opening all of the rooms now. You should be able to see multiple rooms you can pick. Please jump into the one that is representative of the research area that you are interested in. And we'll give it a few minutes for people to filter into the rooms they need to go into. And at that point, we'll let our wonderful area coordinators take the wheel.
Okay, we should all be back or
It's
slowly
there's a
returning.
60-second timer given to let
Yeah.
folks type any conversation. So
Yeah, let's wait that we have all the participants in the main room. So Logan, is it all of us or are we waiting for
The transportation, we are late as usual, so I assume the rest is coming in a few seconds.
you missed the bus?
Yes. Congestion.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they should be all coming in. So maybe a few folks left or yeah. So I think we're good to continue.
Okay. Okay. So now we are coming to the last item in our agenda, which is an open discussion with a panel of current students from all the areas. We have 7 students who are here to, of course, introduce themselves, but also explain their personal trajectory, their personal experience, answer possible questions from a student perspective that you may have, and let you know how it is to be a PhD student at Northwestern. So to start, I would ask all the students in the panel to introduce themselves and say a few words about themselves. I can call them out in the order
I was
see
just
them
about to
in.
do that, yeah.
So Hannah,
Hi, yes. So I'm Hannah Aziz. I'm a second year PhD student in Georgia Kanatsu's group. So that would be the EBE Engineering for the Built Environment group. Happy to be here.
all right, thank you. Vasilis,
Hi again to the ones that we talked a bit. My name is Vasilis. I'm a fifth year, so I'm almost out of the way in the transportation department. Thank you for giving us your consideration and time. And please feel free to ask any questions. And even beyond this session, like email us, we will be more than happy to answer it.
thank you for being here. Xiaoyu,
Hi everyone, I'm Xiaoyu Yan. I'm the third year PhD student advised by Marco Nie, and I'm in the transportation track. I'm very willing to take the questions and very nice to see you all.
thank you. Jack,
Hi, everyone. I'm Jack. I'm a second year PhD student in underground sciences with Dr. Alessandro Rodolaria.
thank you. Arya,
Hello, I'm Ari. I'm a second year PhD student also in undergraduate underground science, and working with Professor Federico Ciarda.
thank you. Joaquina,
Hi, I'm Joaquina, and I am a fourth year PhD student in the environmental engineering department working with Aaron Packman.
thank you. And Parker,
Hi, my name is Parker Deptula. I'm a second year environmental engineering student with George Wells's group.
okay, thank you all for being here. I would just say, don't forget before the end of the session to maybe add in the chat your email in case there are follow-up questions. Now, I don't know if there are questions. So the first thing I would ask to all the prospective students in attendance, if you have any questions for either a specific participant of the panel or all of the panelists. If you do, please raise your hand. Feel free to jump on it. Nobody's jumping. Everybody very well anchored to their chairs. So maybe one question that I would ask you is, oh, okay, no, there is, everybody's adding. One question that I would ask you is, what can you, if you can describe what was your experience in selecting Northwestern as a place for your PhD and your personal experience in identifying an advisor and the actual project that you wanted to undertake for your PhD. On this, I will not call you out and I will wait for anybody to.
I can answer. So for me, Northwestern was really a school that I wanted to attend and that I chose because of the location, not just because it's really close to Lake Michigan, which is really pretty, and next to Chicago, which is also a really nice city. There's so much opportunity because you're next to a big city to do a lot of collaborations and do a lot of work. For me specifically, I'm interested in the urban natural interaction, and so Chicago was just an ideal place to come to do that research.
Thank you, Joaquina. Anybody else?
I can maybe elaborate on finding your advisor. So I guess mine was a little bit different. I came in already knowing who my advisor was. And then in terms of finding projects, it's nice because you have a lot of kind of time to figure out what you like and talking with your advisors to discuss whether there's something there for you or if maybe you can work with other advisors as well to find a project that fits what you like. So that was really great.
Thank you, Anna. Who else?
I can jump in, and I said something very similar to in the breakout room, but one of the main things for me was the people and like the hug that I got from the faculty members, the fellow students from like later years. Like we had a question in the room about if you need someone to ask something about like your work and stuff, you will never feel alone. Like here, even if it's like related to work or not, you will always have someone to rely on, ask for a hand, ask questions. So of course the location is amazing, as Joaquina said. The research side is amazing. Many brilliant minds. And one other nice thing is the collaboration between different departments. You will find opportunities to do something with, I don't know, the industrial engineering department with like civil engineering, and like there are many opportunities to go beyond your department. But besides all that, the people here are unbelievable. So keep that in mind. And I think I sound like a broken record, but that's not the case in many other like universities and departments. So we are lucky to be surrounded by good people. So that's important, I think.
Thank you, Vasilis. As we continue, we can stay on this theme, but I see on the chat a general question to all of the students. So as you jump in sharing your thoughts, you may address this one. So a general question to all the PhD students: what does a typical day or week look like for you as a PhD student here? Don't scare them out. Well, or scare them out if you want. Be honest.
I can jump in again if no one has,
go
but I
ahead.
will wait. Okay. So it's not it's not a walk in the park as in every other type of environment. A typical week, you have like in your first year, you have a lot of courses. So there's a combination of courses and perhaps some research on the side if you find your advisor in an early stage, or if you want to engage with some type of research before the end of the first year. So there is a heavy load of classes. At least in our department, that's how like it was. You have the courses for the first year. So there's that. And then beyond, like going into your second, third year, you have the projects you are working on. You have to find your dissertation. You are like writing papers. So it's a lot of work. It's not many hours, weekends, Sundays, like Saturdays, Friday nights. I think it's worth it. You might end up drinking 5 cups of coffee to make it through the day, but I think it's worth it. So that's for me.
Yeah, I think this question is hard because it really varies so much by your project, by you as a person, if you prefer working in the morning, in the afternoon, what week is it? Like, is it a week that you have a deadline? Is it not? So it's a really tough question. For me, this week I had to go and download data one day. So I went to my sites, I had to get in the river, but then I came back and I had to do data analysis, and then I had a bunch of meetings. And so it really, as long as you like what you're doing and you're excited about your project, it'll be a fun week.
So perhaps in the context of the daily life and the typical week, in addition to that, would anyone would like to comment what opportunities Northwestern offered to, let's say, branch out outside your group context or enlarge your network or connect more broadly with the community? What type of chances did Northwestern give you as an institution to make your PhD whole as a person, let's say, rather than exclusively as a student in your area?
Maybe I can speak to this a little, because last year I kind of was looking for everything a lot. I think Northwestern has a lot of opportunities throughout the campus to do things that are maybe outside of your research. You can network, meet people. There's a lot of organizations that do cater to graduate students. So maybe if you're part of Society of Women Engineers in your undergrad, you can continue that and you can network, branch out. You meet a lot of good people and you actually meet students from different departments that you could work with. There's also maybe other things that you'd be interested in. There's all types of clubs. There's running clubs, there's food clubs, there's triathlon clubs. So there's a lot around the campus you can get involved in to really just, yeah, be a part of different things.
Great. Okay, there is a new question, couple of new questions. How often have you all been able to attend or present at conferences? Does Northwestern provide funding specifically for conferences?
Sorry, I meant to say specifically for travel and conference fees and
Okay,
that. Yes.
for travels. So I don't know if the students want to address. I know for a fact that Northwestern covers at least partially as a funding allocation to which all students can apply for conference travel. So if you have an abstract or a poster accepted at a conference, up to twice during your PhD, you can apply to that fund. And if it won't cover the whole of the costs, it will cover a good chunk of it, and usually the advisors fill in what's left. In terms of individual experience so far, you know, all the current students in the panel cover a range of experiences. I'll leave it to the students to address.
Yeah, I think again, go ahead, Vasilis.
No, please.
We're just the only ones talking. Does anyone else want to answer this? Well, I'll go quickly, but it depends on your project and your professor. For me, I think I've attended like yearly, I go to 1 to 3 events that I need to travel to, and it all just is something that you talk with your professor. And then also that there's the graduate school fund that Giuseppe was talking about. That's really helpful because you can apply to it, and most of the times you get it. It's like pretty easy to send in the application, and then that's at least it gives you some money to help you get started. But there's lots of opportunities to go to conferences, and the faculty are very supportive from my experience.
Exactly the same on my end.
Okay, good.
Oh, I think for transportation, there are some additional things to add. Especially like Transportation Research Board have an annual meeting, and the Transportation Center gives a lot of like sponsorship to the students, including the graduate student and the PhD student. Like apart from what you apply for, maybe TGS funding, it also gives you extra support for it.
Yeah, good, thank you. So there is another general question. Could you share what life is like in your first year of being a PhD student? Maybe a question for those who started recently and have it very fresh, perhaps.
I can go ahead and jump in. So yeah, I just finished my first year, and my experience is that at least at the start, it was a lot like undergrad. The focus is on the courses. I will say that I had kind of already decided which professor I was working with, so I didn't go through the whole rotation process, but you could probably imagine that that would take up some portion of your time. But as the year progresses, you'll kind of start slowly getting introduced to different research projects, and you'll have like opportunities to explore those. And so you'll have this like gradual transition from really just doing more school to starting on almost a job.
Great. So as a follow-up with that, and that's a question that in previous years has often come up. So you're now, all of you have been a few years in the PhD, and you all started with some expectations of how it could have been. And then, you know, you lived it through, you are living it through. What do you wish you would know? You would have known, anybody would have told you at the start that could have helped you either to adjust better or to use your opportunities better. Was there something that you wish you would have known at the start and you would want a new student to know now?
I have a cheesy quote. A
Go ahead.
PhD is a marathon, not a sprint. So I was running like a maniac to do a million things in the first, second year. But if you take it slowly, like you won't get behind, then you will enjoy it more. So that's for me.
That's a good one.
I'll give another quote. Embrace the uncertainty. Like sometimes a PhD can feel like you don't know if you're doing it right, you don't know what you're doing, but it's all part of the process. And as long as you're working every day and doing what you need to do, it eventually starts to come together in your later years, even if at some points it feels very confusing.
Very good. Very good. So I don't know if there are questions from the students in attendance.
And of course, if you think of something 5 minutes
Yeah.
after we end the session, feel free to send a
Exactly.
message
Exactly.
to any of the folks who are participating who provided their emails. Thank you. You can reach out to myself. My contact information is on the website. And yep, that's what we're here for, to answer your
Yeah.
questions
Yeah,
and get you the information you need. But yes, of course, if anybody else has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Feel free to raise your hand or just speak your truth.
Yeah. But in general, I would say, it's been an hour and a half, so I think we covered a lot of ground. Thank you to everybody who attended. Thank you especially to the students who took time from their schedule, which we know is busy but exciting too. And we look forward, all of us, to stay in touch for any upcoming issue and question.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.